1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. Rescue and relief activities are in full swing in the rain and snow-hit areas of Azad, Kashmir, Balochistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Gilgit-Baltistan. The Minister of State for Climate Change says the government is taking concrete measures to address the challenges arising out of climate change in the country. In occupied Kashmir, the Indian troops in their fresh act of state terrorism martyred one more Kashmiri youth in Doda district of Jammu region today. Qatar and Iraq have agreed to mitigate the growing tension between the United States and Iran in the Middle East. Russia has urged the Gulf nations to consider a joint security mechanism to achieve lasting peace in the region. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan visited Muzaffarabad today and reviewed the latest situation after a snowslide incident in Neelam Valley. He paid a visit to the combined military hospital and inquired about the health of those injured and undergoing treatment. The Chief Secretary Azad Jammu Kashmir briefed the Prime Minister regarding damages incurred due to snowfall and avalanches and also briefed him about the relief efforts. The Prime Minister directed the hospital administration to provide better medical facilities to the injured and also arrange medical teams in the affected areas. In his detailed briefing to the Prime Minister, Imran Khan, the Chief Secretary Azad Kashmir, Mathur Niaz Rana, said rescue and relief activities are continuing in the rain and snow-hit areas of Azad Jammu and Kashmir. He said 4 helicopters took part in rescue and relief operations and the injured were shifted to Kale, Sharda and Muzaffarabad. He informed the Prime Minister that work on reopening of roads in the affected areas is underway on war footings, while food and other necessary items have been provided to the affected people. Our Muzaffarabad correspondent Badshah Khan reports that the Chief Secretary also invited the attention of the Prime Minister to set up 2 utility stores at Neelam Valley and construction of a bypass. The President Azad Jammu and Kashmir Sardar Masood Khan, Prime Minister Raja Farooq Haider Khan, Minister for Kashmir Affairs Ali Amin Gandapur, Speaker Legislative Assembly, the Corps Commander Rawalpindi, GOC Murray and other high-ranking civil and military officers were also present during the briefing. The death toll in the incidents caused by snowfall in the country has risen to 100. According to the National Disaster Management Authority, 76 people were killed in the avalanches triggered by heavy rains and snowfall in Azad Kashmir, while 20 people were killed in Balochistan and 2 each in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Gilgit-Baltistan. 90 people sustained injuries in these incidents. The avalanches damaged 213 houses. Rescue teams are in the field to provide relief to the affected people and deliver as many as 2,000 tents, 1,250 blankets, and 2,250 other necessary items to the affected areas. A memorandum of understanding has been signed between the National Highways Authority and National Bank of Pakistan for olive tree plantation along the highways in the country. Addressing the signing ceremony in Islamabad today, the Minister of State for Climate Change, Azad said the government is taking concrete measures to address the challenges arising out of climate change in the country. She said the government is establishing green belts along motorways in collaboration with the National Highways Authority. Speaking on the occasion, the Minister for Communications and Postal Services, Murad Saeed, said green and clean Pakistan is the vision of Prime Minister Imran Khan, and the government is taking practical measures to materialize this vision. The Minister for Housing and Works, Tariq Bashir Chima, has reaffirmed the government's commitment to build 5 million houses to provide shelter to the low-income groups. Responding to queries of members during question hour in the National Assembly today, he said Naya Pakistan Housing Authority has been established, and this is being headed by the Prime Minister Imran Khan himself. Responding to a calling attention notice, the Minister for Maritime Affairs, Ali Zaidi, informed the House that a detailed study has been carried out to address the transport woes of Karachi. The Minister said Maritime Advisory Council has been established and notified to strengthen the maritime sector. Responding to points of different members, the Minister for Aviation, Ghulam Sarwar, said compensation will be announced for the families affected by heavy rains and snowfall in Balochistan, Azad Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. The chair also directed the government to collect data of the damages in the rain and snowfall affected areas and announce relief for them. The Minister of State for Climate Change, Zartaj Gul, said we are currently focusing on rescue activities in the affected areas. The House has now been prorogued. The Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Youth Affairs, Mohammad Usman Dar, has hinted at the launching of 4 more projects of youth empowerment under the Kamyab Jawan program during the current year. Addressing a ceremony in Islamabad today, he said Kamyab Jawan program will play a pivotal role in the economic development of the country by empowering the young generation. This is Radio Pakistan. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has left for the United States on a 3-day visit. According to the Foreign Office, the Foreign Minister will hold talks with the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres in New York. In Washington, he will meet his American counterpart Mike Pompeo, National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien, and other senior officials. The Foreign Minister will also have meetings on the Capitol Hill, besides engagements with the media, think tanks, and Pakistani diaspora. In occupied Kashmir, the Indian troops in their fresh act of state terrorism martyred 1 more Kashmiri youth in Doda district of Jammu region today. The troops martyred the youths during a cordon and search operation in Gundara area of the district. The United Nations Security Council will meet today to discuss the alarming human rights situation in occupied Kashmir. According to Kashmir Media Service, the meeting of the United Nations Security Council has been scheduled for the second time in less than 6 months on the situation of occupied Kashmir. Qatar and Iraq have agreed to mitigate the growing tensions between the United States and Iran in the Middle East. The Qatari Foreign Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman Al-Thani, on his official visit to Baghdad, held talks with his Iraqi counterpart Mohammed Al-Hakim for de-escalation in the region. They discussed the latest developments in the region and means to ease the tension, as well as preventing Iraq from becoming the battleground of regional conflict. Russia has urged the United Nations to assume the responsibility for global security. Addressing the Federal Assembly in Moscow today, the Russian President Vladimir Putin said 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council should set an example to remove the prerequisites for new global wars. Meanwhile, Russia has urged the Gulf nations to consider a joint security mechanism to achieve lasting peace in the region. Talking to the media in New Delhi, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said collective security mechanisms should start with confidence-building measures and inviting each other to military exercises. Turkey and Russia have discussed establishing a secure zone within Syria's northwestern Idlib region where displaced by fighting can shelter during the winter. The Turkish Defense Minister Hulusi Akar, in a statement in Ankara, said attacks by Syrian government forces are continuing in Idlib region despite a January 12th ceasefire agreement reached by Turkey and Russia. The United States and China will sign a trade deal in Washington today aimed to vastly increase Chinese purchases of American manufactured products. The American President Donald Trump and Chinese Vice Premier Liu He will sign the document at the White House. And finally, the weather. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country, while very cold conditions have been forecast for upper parts in North Balochistan during the next 24 hours. However, fog is likely to prevail in the plain areas of the Punjab and Upper Sindh during morning and night hours. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.